of moderate Muslims who are needed at the
Moderate
apex of engaging
Muslims.
with extremism to counter
Moderate Muslims appear to be angry with the rest of the world who keep pointing out to them the flaws in their religion and the number one cause for terrorism. All Muslims are not terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims. All your rage seems to be directed at the people who point out the flaws in your religion. You have yet to be angered by actual terrorist events.
This is the same Europe that
Actual deaths.
Muslims. I received an email from a Muslim in
Jesus.
Bosnia after that.
No one gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
The Bosnian massacres.
Holy
We never
Jesus
hear about
Christ.
our plight in the international
No.
media anymore.
No, of course you don't.
Remember that
Of course you don't.
information has time and again throughout modern history led to a slippery slope of hate against communities, be it in Rwanda or otherwise.
Really?
As we have just seen throughout
You seem
Europe.
to know a lot about hatred. Of course you don't feel like standing out against actual Muslim activities against civilization as a whole. That's not your main problem. So the cartoons is what caused political violence. Really. I see. So depicting Muhammad the Prophet as a bombardier somehow offends you. Have you been asleep for the past 30 or 40 years? Where have you been? Have no terrorist acts been committed in the name of Allah? Is the cartoon that far off? Wouldn't an actual answer to the cartoon be to be peaceful? The cartoon's point was that Islam is a religion of hate and violence. Wouldn't a proper response be not to be violent? Where is your anger against the murder of children, of women, and of wanting to take over the entire world?
Our next speaker will be Deidre Abu. Deidre Abu is
A cunt?
Mass Freedom Arizona director, but she's also an interfaith activist throughout America.
Interfaith
And Deidre will
activist.
come, and not only will she talk, but she will also...
Well, she expressed any anger or hatred towards Islamic countries that are don't have elections, that mutilate female clitorises, or hang underage girls for having sex outside of marriage, or for dictators whose bosses are the mullahs of Iran decide to have a build fucking nuclear weapons, screaming about the death to America and death to Israel. Al-Qaeda or Hamas or any of those organizations. Is there any anger towards them, or did you come on television to wave a finger at us for feeling a little irked or nervous when sitting next to you on a plane and call it hatred? Distressing to Muslims everywhere. Really? Is that what's distressing to you? Does murder distress you, or does that not bother you at all?
In a lot or more of recent events,
Unbelievable.
the Free Faith Forum has expressed its agreement with the Muslim Council of Britain, which, reacting to the demonstrations held in London against publication of the cartoons, said that some of the banners and placards on display were quite disgraceful and seemed to constitute a clear incitement to violence, even murder. Today, in a meeting with the Danish and Norwegian
Incitement?
ambassadors, the Free Faith Forum has proposed that the
A
Danish
convert.
government host in Copenhagen an interfaith
A
seminar
convert to the most ruthless religion on the face of the planet, a religion that wants global domination, a religion that has dhimmi status, meaning anyone who has not been brought to the knees of Islam and Sharia law will pay hefty taxes and be raped and be murdered to the whims of members of the true faith who have seen the light. A convert. In this day and age, it is the in thing now. Part of a death cult. Yes, it concerns me that you have converted.
Before I read it, I just want to let you know that it's the UK's representative Muslim...
Blah, 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 blah. Nothing about the deaths and murders. This doesn't concern you. Do I have to list the entire things that have been done in the name of Allah? I can't even do it. The list is too long. European newspapers are the problem. You know something, ma'am? You remind me very much of a different race in this United States, which seems to think that all of its problems are white people. None of the anger is faced inward. The massive amounts of murders going on in their own home streets, in their own neighborhoods, massive amounts of drugs, massive amounts of guns pouring into their streets. Whose fault is it? It's the cops' fault. It's rap music.
Newspapers should apologize immediately for the harm they have caused.
Never!
Iqbal Safraini, Secretary General of the